Om Shanti. In today's Murli, Baba is talking about attitude, and Baba gives us a rule, a law that your attitude has a connection with your vision and your actions. So, our attitude is responsible for my vision. So, how I see things is not how they are, but it depends on the attitude I have. So, even things appear, or situations, or behaviors, or their interpretation is different when our attitude is different. So, this is something that Baba is underlining, and Baba says that you have to finish weak attitudes and make a vow to have a pure and elevated attitude, to see this world as elevated. Now, we must understand one thing, that when it comes to attitude, the seed of attitude is awareness. The seed of attitude is awareness. Baba has given us this link. So in Hindi it is called Smriti, Vritti, Drishti and Kriti. So it is Smriti, which is awareness, which comes first. Then it is Vritti, attitude. Then there is Drishti, vision. And then there is Kriti, action. So first comes Smriti, awareness. You cannot start with attitude. If I want to have an elevated attitude, I have to first elevate my awareness. And how do you do that? By filling your awareness with truth, with the knowledge that Baba is giving. That is why daily Murli, Baba's Gyan, that is the way to uplift your attitude. Now let's take the one simple example. So when you think you are a body and when you think you are a soul. So when you understand that I am a soul, then you start looking at other people as souls. So a spiritual awareness leads to a spiritual attitude and a spiritual vision. And when you look at everybody as a soul, then obviously your actions are different towards them. So then you are not judging them, you are not complaining. You understand that every soul is performing bad actions because they are weak, and your actions should strengthen them. So you give them the compassion, the healing, the knowledge, the support that they need. Now, all this starts with awareness. So when you have awareness of yourself, when you have awareness of Baba, when you have awareness of the time. Yes, so Baba has given us also the awareness of the time. And that's very important, because when you look at, when you hold that awareness of the time cycle, then you don't look at this as disintegration or destruction. You look at the whole thing that's going on around you as a step to Satyug. So you know that everything is happening so that this world, this old world can finish and then the new world can come. So your vision and your actions, your thoughts, your feelings, your actions towards the present world also start shifting. So Baba says your attitude defines your vision and your action, and what we have to keep in mind is that attitude, the seed of attitude is awareness. So that is why Baba is elevating our awareness to improve our attitude every day. And in the Murli today, Baba gives a very beautiful example of this attitude. Now, Baba in the Murli tells us that, when pilgrims go on a pilgrimage, then those pilgrims experience a lot on the pilgrimage. They have very beautiful experiences, and sometimes they even get a vision. So they get a sakshatkar, or they have some beautiful divine experiences. But the guides who take them, they don't have any experience on the pilgrimage. Because you see that the awareness that the guide holds is that I am taking these pilgrims and this is my job and I am here to earn money. Yes, and then the pilgrim is going because he thinks that I'm going to meet God. So now you see that attitude is so important and that attitude sets the atmosphere. So Baba also gives us another law. First law is your attitude defines your vision and action. And then the second law is, as is your attitude, so is the atmosphere. So when you hold an elevated attitude, then the atmosphere starts to shift, and the possibilities and the experience that you can have in that atmosphere starts to shift. So, the atmosphere is not created by the objects or the situations that are around. The atmosphere is created by the person who is entering that atmosphere. And when you hold that elevated attitude inside you, then you create an atmosphere where your possibilities and your experience will shift. Yes, so, and you see that even science today recognizes that the atoms around you, or the atmosphere around you, starts behaving differently when the onlooker or the person present in that atmosphere changes. Okay, so even science says this. So, it's not, any environment is not just a physical environment. So even if it's a physical environment, you can create the atmosphere that you want through your presence and your attitude. Just look at the phenomena of temples. So, whenever there is so people find a stone and then they build a temple, and then, suddenly that place becomes sacred and full of vibrations. So earlier it was just an ordinary place, and then people used to cross that place and not experience anything. But now everybody entering that place has the attitude that this is a sacred place and this is an important place, and then this is a divine place, and then that attitude starts to shift the atmosphere. And then anybody entering that arbitrarily is able to have the benefit of that atmosphere also. So somebody creates it and then somebody benefits out of it. So Baba is giving us the example of the guide and the pilgrim, and Baba says that the pilgrim is experiencing so much and the guide is just seeing that this is a job and I'm earning money, and that guide is not experiencing anything because of the attitude with which they are visiting that pilgrimage place. So Baba is telling us that, wherever you are, it doesn't matter whether you are in a holy place, in an ordinary place, whichever place you are in, you have the capacity to turn that into a very powerful and elevated atmosphere by holding that attitude of, pure vision and pure, and that attitude of spirituality, then attitude of knowing that you are a soul and this is Sangam Yoga and Baba is present. So what has Baba told us that we should keep in mind? So first thing that Baba has told me is that I am a soul and I am not an ordinary soul. I am an agent of change. I am a child of God. And Baba has told me that wherever I am, God is with me, sitting with me and helping me, and He's my Sati. So 2 days back, Baba said, Baba is your Sati, your companion. And Baba is always, giving you his support and encouragement and upliftment all the time. So when you sit with that attitude, then any atmosphere starts shifting. And I will tell you one incident. So there was this one sister, and she came and she said that my husband, so they are 4 brothers. So including my husband, there are 4 brothers in the family. And then my husband is very quiet and he doesn't enter into arguments, and he's basically, he loves peace. And then there is the elder brother who is very dominating. And then she said that, according to Vastu, there is one corner of the house which is very good for, for upliftment and for business. And anybody living in that corner will have a lot of growth in life. So that is according to Vastu, she said. And then she said that my brother-in-law, the elder brother, he doesn't allow us to be there. He lives in that corner, and then I am in the corner where it is supposedly the worst place in the house. So, I am living in that place, which is supposedly, the place where you won't thrive, where you won't get profit. You are on the downhill if you are in that place. So we are experiencing losses, and then how do I do that? How do I change that? Because my brother-in-law is so dominating that we can't talk over him, and we cannot ask him to agree to shift the place. So then I told her, see, no place is a good place or a bad place. It is your attitude that makes it a good place or a bad place, because your attitude sets the atmosphere. And then I told her that so she was a first timer, she had never come to the center. So when she came and she discussed this, because people think that we will find solutions and physical solutions, but what they don't understand is physical solutions come from spiritual knowledge and spiritual understanding. So then I told her that you take the course, and then after 3-4 days I will give you the solution for this. And then she took the course, and then I introduced her to the knowledge of the soul and to the knowledge of Baba. And then when she got it, I told her that you always remember every time, waking up, sleeping, doing anything, just remember I am a soul, Baba's child, and Baba is with me in this corner of the house, and I am here with Baba all day, and only peace, love, purity, prosperity is flowing in this place. And then she started practicing it, and she comes to the center. And then after a month I asked her, then she stopped talking about problems altogether. And then after a month I asked her, so you didn't update me, you didn't give me any update on how everything is going and how you're doing. She said, we are thriving properly, Didi, everything is fine and everything is good at the house and in the business also. And my husband also every day asks me, you didn't go to the center today. So he thinks I'm getting some magical, potion from the center and coming and spreading it here. I don't know what he thinks, but every day he's very particular that I go to the center. so so I said that, you see that no place is a good place or a bad place. No atmosphere is a bad atmosphere. So it's your attitude that creates the atmosphere. And your attitude depends on your awareness. So when you are in the awareness that I am a powerful soul, I am a pure soul, and I am the child of the ocean of purity, then whenever you sit in a place, that atmosphere becomes pure and powerful, because you are the one creating that sphere around you. So Baba says you don't even have to, think like, rays are coming and spreading and this and that. They are there. If you are sitting in the awareness that I am a soul and Baba is sitting with me, then automatically, if you are in the awareness of the truth, then automatically the atmosphere is getting charged and it is very powerful. And what I mean to say is, in a powerful atmosphere, you experience stuff, and such possibilities are created which are not created outside. So, sometimes when you have created a powerful atmosphere, then in that atmosphere, it becomes very easy to. So, I have seen that, when you have an attitude of spirituality and then you are in remembrance of Baba and profound and true remembrance of Baba, then I have seen that even the most difficult tasks become very easy. Sometimes, somebody has come with a lot of dissonance with Gyan. Somebody has come and they have a very negative attitude, or they have come with a lot of disagreement with this whole process that Baba teaches, and they are not favorably oriented. But when they enter that atmosphere, it becomes possible to shift their attitude and their heart, and they start feeling differently about the whole process. So Baba says, a powerful, elevated atmosphere created through a pure attitude is full of possibilities. What is not possible otherwise is possible here. And when you have, so the place you live, if you are always holding that attitude of purity and power inside you, and you are in constant remembrance of Baba, then I can tell you that within that atmosphere, whatever you think will materialize. So that atmosphere kind of gets the blessing that whatever you think materializes. And in the center, I sometimes feel that we are almost living with thought power. So, you don't have the time to pick up the phone and call and talk many a time. So, whenever we think about someone or something, that's reaching that soul. We have seen that. And they get it, they understand it, they get the message also. So Baba says that all these things, in Satyug, you will not need to communicate a lot with words and actions. Your communication will be through thought and feeling. And that kind of a possibility also is created when you create a soul conscious attitude, a pure attitude, an attitude based on remembrance of Baba. So Baba gives us this very important tool, I would say, to make your atmosphere powerful and create possibilities in that atmosphere. So, you could do this at home, you could do this at office also. So when you sit in a place every day and you are always soul conscious and in remembrance of Baba, then you will see that when somebody comes to that place, to your room, they will start thinking differently. They will be in a lot of alignment with you. So earlier, you used to feel that you are in disalignment with that person, but then when they come to your place, they will be in alignment with you, because in that atmosphere, things start shifting. So, and also whenever you are in a new place, in a new place, in a new atmosphere, then just take some time to nurture it with your attitude. That is why it is suggested that whenever you are you are starting a program, you are starting a discussion, you are starting a meeting, you are starting a project. So what you do is you're starting work, just begin that with soul consciousness and remembrance of Baba, because when you do that, you are charging that atmosphere to be favorably oriented to you, and then your thoughts will materialize faster, easier. So this is also something. And then Baba says, as is your attitude, so is your vision and action. So in Hindi, there is a saying that, um, people find whatever they are looking for. So whenever you are looking for something, then you will find it. You will find what you look for. And what you look for depends on your attitude. So if you have a negative attitude, you will always find problems, misery, reasons to be upset, reasons to be worried. You will always find that. And when you have a elevated attitude, a pure attitude, then you will always find goodness and hope, and you will find that, you will find the assurance that Baba is with you and Baba is helping you, and you will find reasons to be thankful to Baba all the time. So this depends on the attitude. I have seen people who have visited Madhuban with me and found faults in Madhuban also. Yes, so there was this one brother I took to Madhuban once, and that was a program for newcomers, and he had not even taken Gyan. And then, he just found faults with everything. And it was very difficult for me to even understand where is he coming from. And then when he told me one thing or two things, obviously he didn't open his whole heart out to me. But then whatever little he said, I said, do you have this fantastic ability of picking up dirt wherever you go? And I'm sorry I can't help you in this, because if you are a rag picker, if you are a garbage collector, you will do that. So anybody who is, if you have trained yourself to do that, you will do that. And I don't want to waste my time explaining to you that this is not like this and not like that. So if this is what you have made of yourself, then this is, you have created that destiny to suffer. And because I gave him that stern, that stern talk, probably he kind of thought that I should think differently. And when we were coming back, he said that I would like to understand better. And I said that if you want to understand better, you have to be favorably oriented towards it. It's not like, it's not like we are benefiting by convincing you about something. So it's for your own benefit. If you have a positive attitude, you will have a happy life, nobody else. And if you are negative about things, you will suffer. So you have to choose, because if you keep justifying that the world is negative and there is negativity, of course there is negativity, but do you want to fill your life with it? Do you want to fill your life with it is the question. There is negativity in the world. We are living in Kali Yuga. But then why do you have to search for that and hold it in your buddhi all the time? So what you are looking for depends on your attitude. And if you have created this attitude of finding faults, finding loopholes, finding a negative all around, then you will suffer. So Baba says your drishti, your actions, and what creates our destiny? Our actions. The way you think, the way you speak, the way you behave creates your sanskar and your destiny, not anybody else's. So if I have a negative attitude, my thoughts, my words, my actions will create a corresponding destiny for me. So it's very important that I take the time and the effort, and I create the, I genuinely invest my time and thought in creating that awareness which lifts my attitude from a weak attitude to a pure one. This is why every soul's responsibility is to take out time to understand the truth and elevate their attitude likewise. So this is something that Baba tells us. And then Baba in the slogan tells us, practice being bodiless and beyond the awareness of bodies, and you will be able to know the feelings in anyone's minds. So you see that usually we are not able to know the feelings in other people's mind because these days, people say communication gap, or they live under one roof and they say, I don't get you. So I don't really understand you, or I don't get you. So what is the problem there? The problem is that you are not understanding the feeling in their mind. Okay? And why you're not understanding it is because you're full of your own feelings. Okay? So what I have understood in this journey is, if you are very full of what you want from the other person, then you cannot understand what they want. Okay, so because your whole buddhi is full of what you want and you're only focusing on that, and that's why you are not able to see what they want. So these days, when children come to the center, they tell me that parents don't understand me. Why? Because parents are looking for good grades and good marks, and they are looking for them to perform a certain way, and then they don't understand the child, or the child doesn't understand the parent later in life. That also starts happening because again the child is consumed by their desires and their wants. So when you want to understand other people's feelings, it is very important that your own inner world is clean. So if it is full of prejudice and desires and memories and other stuff, then you cannot understand the feelings of others, the wants of others. And how do you clean that whole inner world? So it's through this practice of soul consciousness. So when I'm a soul, so a soul means I'm a child of God and I'm full. I'm full and my only memory is me and Baba. So I have to keep, whenever my mind drifts, I have to keep pulling it back to I'm just a dot and Baba is a dot, and I am being nurtured by the ocean of peace and love and purity. And that is the consciousness I have to create. And when I have practiced enough and my whole inner world is free from, desires, expectations, judgment, prejudice, memories, all of that stuff, that cleaning has happened. So Baba says that the more you are soul conscious and in my remembrance, then I will burn your sins. So basically all our sins are burned. Then what happens is you become a very clean mirror. So have you seen that a mirror can reflect who you are, or the mirror can reflect back to you how it is? So have you seen that they are distorted mirrors? And those distorted mirrors will create an image which is like the mirror, not like the person. So Baba says that if you want to be an accurate mirror, then you have to work on your soul consciousness, and then you will get the feelings of the other. What is the bhavana, or what is the, what they want, or what is their feeling. And that's our task here. Baba has entrusted souls who are Baba's children with this task, that you have to fulfill the bhavana of every soul around you. But how do you understand the bhavana if you're so full of yourself? So in order to understand that bhavana, you have to appreciate that, I have to clean my mirror, and only then can I understand the other person's bhavana. And when you fulfill their bhavana, then they come closer to Baba. And that's the purpose. The purpose of all seva is to bring souls closer to Baba. But you can't do that until and unless your inside is very clean. Yes, so are you able to understand what the other person is seeking or needing or wanting? Yes, and sometimes they might need even, so you might decide how to give it to them. Sometimes, you need a strict approach. Sometimes you need a loving approach. Sometimes you need something else. So sometimes I give you an example of, when you understand that somebody has to be dealt with strictly also. But you have to understand that what is their feeling and what is to be done with those feelings. And you can only understand that when you're soul conscious, because when you are in ego, then your ego will get hurt and your actions will be inaccurate. So in that example of the brother I gave you, so I did not mind him finding faults with Madhuban. I just wanted him that, he should also take benefit. If he doesn't like Madhuban, Madhuban doesn't suffer. But he has come such a long way. So, he should experience something. That's what I wanted. So that's why when I, spoke strictly, he could understand that. It's not like he got annoyed or he was ruffled the wrong way. Why? Because when you are a clean mirror, when you're not hurt, when you are not angry, then what happens is that you are able to understand how they feel and what they need. Yes, so sometimes they need love, sometimes they need, a dose of gyan. Sometimes somebody needs something else. So, the doctor should know what the patient needs, but the doctor has to be very objective if he has to figure out what the person needs and not what they want to give the person. Okay, so that is something that Baba talks about. And then in the Murli, Baba says something very interesting. Baba says, It is Ravan who fulfills impure desires, and the father fulfills the pure desires. Okay, so Ravan fulfills impure desires and Baba fulfills pure desires. So it's not that desires will not be fulfilled. Yes, all your desires will be fulfilled. So Baba is teaching us the art of, the art of creating pure desires. But it's not that if you have impure desires, they will not be fulfilled. They will be fulfilled. But they are not fulfilled by Baba, they are fulfilled by Ravan. And what happens when Ravan does something for you? So that puts you into sorrow. So Baba in yesterday's Murli said, when Ravan does something for you, you end up in Shok Vatika. So we have heard the story in Ramayana that Ravan abducts Sita and puts him in that Vatika where she keeps crying. So that is what Ravan does. So have you seen that Ravan doesn't do anything to Sita? He just puts her in a place where she keeps crying. So that's what Ravan does. So Baba says, you are the soul, you are the Sita, and if you don't listen to me and still have impure desires will also be fulfilled, but you will end up in sorrow. Yes, you will end up in sorrow. And when you have pure desires, I will fulfill them and you will end up in the land of happiness. Now the thing is, there is this thought process in the world that just go with the flow, and you think about something, and then if it materializes, good; if it doesn't, leave it to destiny. Yes, so leave it to destiny, but take care of the seed. Yes, so it's not like you plant any seed and then leave it to destiny, because you are not leaving it to destiny. You are planting the seed of thought. You're planting the seed of desire and then leaving it to destiny. So sometimes, people think that whatever materializes is destined and whatever doesn't materialize is God's way of telling you that this shouldn't happen or this is not good for you. But the thing is, you have to listen to God before planting the seed of thought. If you are listening to Ravan and planting that seed of thought, then when you plant mangoes also, they will materialize. If you plant thorns also, they will materialize. It's not that if it doesn't materialize, that's a sign from God. No, sometimes your most impure desires will materialize because Ravan fulfills them. And if you have a very good relationship with Ravan, you've been very vicious, then Ravan will very actively fulfill all your impure desires. And then that will put you in greater and greater sorrow. So don't plant the seed of impure desire and leave it for God to decide. No, God doesn't decide that. Baba tells us to choose wisely, choose your thought wisely, choose your desire wisely. Think before you think. Think before you create that desire. When you say, I want this, think very well whether you really want it. There's a very beautiful saying, be careful about what you want, you might get it. Be very careful about what you want, you might get it. And when you get it, you will not like it. So don't leave your desires to destiny. Choose your desires very wisely. And Baba is telling us that in this confluence age, one has to be wise enough to choose to be pure, to be peaceful, to follow Srimat. Yes, to be in that awareness that one Baba and none other. So if you're still desiring for people, places and things in this old world, that's not what Baba suggests. Baba suggests that be pure, come to that awareness that one Baba and none other is enough for me. And then whatever you need, Baba will give you. Don't worry. So you just desire Baba, to be with Baba, follow Baba's Srimad. You shouldn't have any other desire in your heart. And your effort should be in that line. And then Baba will give you whatever you need. You don't have to ask Baba for anything. You need food, clothes, shelter. Baba will give you everything. Baba will give you a good life. But Baba says, don't get caught up in this material desire in an impure world, because the desire for vices, the desire for material pursuits, that is what Ravan creates, and then you get caught up in all of that. Okay? And then you end up in sorrow. And then you say, Baba, do something. Baba says, I cannot do anything when you have already done everything. Okay? Om Shanti.